Hi everyone, this is John from Southampton Motorcycle Customs, just giving you a weekly update on what's been going on. So Rob was interested in this bike. As you can see, it's looking a bit of a mess at the moment, but it's all happening. So the engine's been taken out, the rear wheel rim and the front wheel has been taken out as well. All of that has now been prepped and is almost ready to go back in again. What we do with the builds is we do a dry build, so we get everything ready, we then reassemble it with the petrol tank and the seat on it, which then indicates exactly where on the subframe we can cut. It also shows us what brackets we require or don't require. Any that need to be removed will be ground off. The frame can then all go in and be dipped in one go and painted. If you have to do any more cutting and adjustment, obviously it'll affect the finish of the frame, so we like to get that all done when it's all finished and completed, and then it's just an assembly thereafter. So this week what we've been doing is we've been working on the wheel rims. So the original wheel rims will come off. This is just a spare one that we have on at the moment. They go through a process. Obviously the spokes and the little nipples get quite rusty on these, so we go through a process where we take them off. They get degreased completely. We then hit them all with a wire wheel and go through every single spoke and the hub. We used to remove the spokes completely and redo the hubs, but that was very time consuming, so we stopped doing that. We just work very carefully with the wire wheel, going through everything. From there we then use sandpaper and we go through everything and sand the whole lot down with 2 grades of sandpaper, starting with like a 80 grit sandpaper and then moving down to a sort of 400 or 600 grit sandpaper. Once it's all been sanded down, we then give it a good wipe down and we use an etch primer on it. The etch primer helps to adhere to all the spokes and helps to adhere to the chrome that is on the wheels. If it's needed, if there's some serious pitting, as you can see there's quite a bit of rust, but as I say, this is a spare one that we've got at the moment. If there's quite a bit of rust, we'll go over that again with a high build primer to hide any of the imperfections in the wheel. It's really good to strip things back. We tend to strip everything back as much as possible, because then you can have a really good look at what's actually going on, make sure everything's structurally sound, make sure there's no holes, make sure there's no dents, and make sure the wheel rim's true. So we tend to strip everything down. After the high build primer, if it's needed, we then go in with the high gloss paint to get the high gloss finish. So I'll take you down and show you what we've got so far. The same thing with the engines. We tend to remove the engine casings completely. On the engine, I'll show you now, the tappets have all been checked and the engine's been totally flushed out and cleaned. This was a running bike. It doesn't look like it, but it was a running bike and it had an MOT, and it's quite a nice low mileage bike, which was good. So it's the Honda CG125. It's a 2002 model, and they're perfect for these cafe racer builds. So I'll take you through now and just show you where we go, and then I'll come back and show you the progress on this particular build that we're doing at the moment. So here we are. I'll go through the rest of the wheel rim. So we've got the rear wheel hub is hanging up here now. It's had 2 coats of gloss enamel on it, had the heater on it as well. It gives a nice good high build finish, and it's in the gloss paint. Obviously when you're painting, you try and mask off as much as possible any areas that have anything joining onto them, anywhere that there's a rubber seal, anything like that needs to be well masked up. So this one is now probably going to have another 2 coats on it, because we like to do sort of 4 or 5 coats to get a really thick build up on the wheel rims, because they're obviously susceptible to any stone chips or chipping. The front wheel rim has now been finished and completed, so that's going for its final bake off just now. Goes into the hot oven and we try and bake it off as much as we can. Sorry, the chickens are having a go out there. We try and bake it off as high as we can to get a nice hard finish on it, and it'll then go for buffing and polishing. We tend to do much the same process with the engine. So that's the engine that's come out of this bike. As I say, we've had the top of the engine, we've been through the inside and it's been flushed out. We tend to remove the cases, and we like to paint the cases down flat so you get a nice good enamel finish. So these engine casings have been done with a high temperature enamel paint. Again, everything's been masked off, so there's a few areas that you can see have been masked, but it gives a good high finish. We also like to strip the casings off, not only to check the engine thoroughly, but also when you're painting it, it allows you to get into all the fins and all the little grooves on the engine, so you can get that high baked enamel right into everything, that high temperature enamel. So that's the engine there. We're just waiting for this to go off. We've had the heater on it for about a day now, so we've got it up to sort of about 80-90 degrees in temperature, so that hardens the enamel really well. This engine will then all be reassembled with the new gaskets. The little metal caps have all been polished, metal polish that go into the engine, so it gives a really nice finish at the end of it. And then various things that we take out and we check as a routine is just like the clutch, signal generator, and various bits and pieces that have come out. Right, so that's basically as far as we've got this week. It doesn't sound like much, but believe me, those wire wheeling and sandpapering those spokes on every single wheel takes a long time. Other bits have just come in for the bike. We've got the seat all ready to go, which is really nice. Leather seat with the cross stitch on it, the white cross stitch. The old retro style shock absorbers have come in as well. Those are all ready. And then in our storeroom we have the headlights and various bits and pieces. So I'll just do a quick sweep round. I'll just show you back into the storeroom at the back. So all on the top shelf of the storeroom here, we've got everything ready to go on for all these builds. We've got the headlights come in, we've got indicators, shock absorbers, all the different bits that we need. Then moving on to this bike, which if you look back you'll see we did a video earlier on the week about the swing arm and how the swing arm needs to be adjusted if you're going for the wider tires. So these are obviously much wider tires on here, so we've used a different Honda CM125 forks on that because the whole front end will slot in. So we just got all that set up, and then here you can sort of see the finished article in its raw state. The swing arm, the brace on the swing arm here has been moved forward, so it still gives a good gap, so it still allows it to swing, and it gives enough gap there for the much wider, fatter tire to go into the bike. So that's the build at the moment that we're doing. Again, the same as the previous bike, it has to be a dry build, so you get as much done as you possibly can, and then you know exactly where to cut everything, which brackets need to be ground off, and this particular frame will be going for powder coating. So that's basically there. And then we've got our final project, which is on the go at the moment. It's always good to have a few projects on the go. This is like the military style bike. I've already cut the back on that one. It's got the small stubby mudguard on it, and we've just inserted the little indicators into the frame tube at the back, so you can see the two indicators there. We've got CB750 forks which are on it, which give it a nice chunky look, and we're just going through the wiring on it at the moment. A lot of the wiring actually gets pulled through the frame tubes. It certainly helps, especially with the indicators, helps conceal and give that really smooth look in the center. So this one will have a pod filter, so there'll be no airbox and no battery, so you have a nice empty space in here. We've got a front wheel rim. Again, this is a Brazil model. As you can see, the hub on the Brazil model is slightly different, and then the new clocks have gone on. It's always such fun when you put new clocks on and they read 000000. So that's about as far as we've got with that build. So we've got 3 on the go at the moment. It's Thursday, just before Good Friday, so if you happen to be watching this at that time, hope you have a good Easter, and I hope you have a nice sunny weekend and everyone can be out riding. So that's it there. So that's from all of us at Southampton Motorcycle Customs. If you need to contact us, you can always phone me on John on 07818 090977. That's John on 07818 090977. Or you can email me at audinzw@yahoo.com. That's AUDINZW@yahoo.com. So from all of us here at Southampton Motorcycle Customs, until next week, thanks a lot for watching.